It's all booked up release day. I'm so excited to finally have this coloring book available. I first teased it in January on TikTok, and that TikTok got like several million views. So there were many comments of people asking when it was going to be in stock. And so I'm hoping that because it got so much attention pre-release, that this is like a really good coloring book release. I need to look back at the stats and actually see how like previous coloring books have performed on release day, because I don't actually know. I do think this is going to be the best seller of the four. And then in about a month, we're releasing Garden Avenue. So there's about to be 5 books, but right now this is just number 4. I'm working on 2 more. I just cannot seem to finish Coastal Americana because I keep trying to perfect it, but that's supposed to be released in June, and I think I might be past the like time frame to actually have it available on the release day I want, and I'm really beating myself up over that, but it's fine. It'll be fine. Anyway, all booked up. We've been working on like coloring some pages in, getting cute photos of it. I need to make some TikToks today, but otherwise I'm mainly just going to be doing my normal work because basically most stuff is already done. I'll show you some of the pages we've already colored. Maybe I'll color another page just so I have like stuff for content. And then my little interns are coming in today, who I love, and they're gonna make some more content of all booked up, like probably a flip through, and they might color some pages and they'll help me make my TikToks. So anyway, pretty chill day. I'm gonna pack some orders later. I have some work to catch up on with emails, and then I also have maybe to color another page. So we put the coloring books on Amazon in December as like a experiment ahead of like the holiday shipping deadline in case people really wanted to gift coloring books, because Amazon can ship later than USPS can. So if someone wanted a coloring book for Christmas, they could order on like December 22nd and still get it in time, whereas we can only ship by like I think December 20th, 21st usually. But it turned out to be kind of like a really successful experiment because we started selling like almost 100 coloring books a week. I didn't realize that was something that people were looking for on Amazon, but it does seem like that is a thing. And that's really exciting and makes me want to try Amazon a little bit more for my business. I'm not like a huge Amazon lover, but on the other hand, it would like super help my business if I was able to like get a foothold on there. So we're gonna try that this year and just see, especially because like TikTok is still very questionable as far as its fate. So all of that is to say, I am just looking at the reviews for the first time on the coloring books, and they're mostly positive, but I'm pretty surprised that people feel like the pages are too simple. I did see that, I think, twice for Put a Bow on It and once for Farmer's Market. And Put a Bow on It has more simple pages, like that is a thing. Farmer's Market doesn't really though, because there's a lot of like fruit plus floral pages. And so it's like full page florals. And honestly, I feel like those pages aren't even my favorites. I prefer the even simpler ones because I want to be able to finish a page in like one sitting. And the full floral pages usually take me like 2 hours. So I'm honestly shocked by that. I totally get it though, because someone said like, even though this is marketed towards adults, the pictures are very simple and not overly detailed. And I think most like adult coloring books are like, I've just been seeing a lot of like mandalas, like where they're super intricate pages. And I have like one design, it's not a mandala, but I have one design in The Good Life that is like really intricate that I just colored in. And I wasn't even enjoying that at all. I was like, please, I want this to be done. And I really like the final result. And I still think the design is very cute, but the experience of coloring it was like overwhelming. So when I do coloring books, I try really hard to make sure there's a mix of simple and complex pages so you can kind of choose what mood you're in. But I'm really like interested in people who want like intricate, super detailed. It would stress me out so bad. And that's like totally fine. I'm not like upset because they left a 4-star review. It was still a good review. So thank you. I'm just like, oh my gosh, cannot relate. I want the even simpler pages actually. Okay, one more note from reading the reviews. I really need to figure out how to clarify that when I say markers don't bleed through on these coloring books, I mean, they don't bleed through to the next page where there's another design. They definitely bleed through to the back of the page because alcohol markers will bleed through literally they'll bleed through fabric to the other side. Like they'll bleed through anything. I don't think I've met a piece of paper they won't bleed through to the opposite side. And that's why I left the opposite side basically blank, but I didn't want it to be just a totally blank page. So that's why it has like the swatching and like other fun things on the back in case you color it with color pencils, because a blank page would be no fun. So it's kind of interesting that I've seen an Amazon review and then some reviews on like TikTok Shop that people are saying like, well, I can't use the swatch page because I use alcohol markers. I want to like put out maybe I should just make a TikTok like saying like the swatch page is there to fill space so that there's not another design on that page and also it's not blank. But if you use alcohol markers, the back is not going to be usable. And that's how it is in all of our books. But whenever I color, it doesn't bleed through to the following page design. If you use alcohol markers and press really hard, then it will bleed through to like the following page. But if you just like press normally, it won't do that because we used thicker paper. So you can always put like a sheet in between there. We're trying a new system for organizing our content for our digital ads. So I'm spending this morning uploading a bunch of like content so that we have videos for like every category that we want to use in our digital ads. I'm working on getting the tags ready for our new like zip wallets, passport covers, luggage tags, stuff like that, because we're redesigning those. I really am struggling with it though. So this is the other tag that's like already done that I want to match the rest of the tags to. I've done no work on this since Wednesday. I think to make the deadline, I'm gonna have to airship it, which is gonna cost $2,500. $2,500. If I had just gotten this done sooner, I wouldn't have to pay that.
And we're out of money, according to your last TikTok.
It's noon, which means that the email is going out, and it's kind of like the first time we get to see how well received the coloring books are on a larger scale.
Oh, wow.
So because our email list goes out to tens of thousands of people, pretty much right away we start seeing people on the website. And so within about 5 minutes of the email going out, the website numbers really start climbing, and those are when we get the most people on the website during kind of those email blasts. And so our record for number of people on the website had been around maybe like 1,100. Oh, we got over the record. Really? Yeah, the record was 1,170, I'm pretty sure. And now we're at 1,196. More people want all booked up than grab bags? Is it gonna peak? Are we gonna break 1,200?
On mine, I refreshed it. It's at 1216.
Dang. That's awesome. I really didn't expect that. But that people are excited for this, which I was hoping for. I had a hunch, but I don't know. Wow, I can't believe All Booked Up is overtaking the Grabbies. Yeah, true. That's true. We have a lot of Kindle people on our list.
Oh, wow.
Dang. It's not just breaking the record. It's shattering.
It's creating the record.
Dang.
God bless boy.
Wow.
1,300.
Wow, that's huge. Dang. I did not expect that at all.
Is it gonna hit 1,400?
I will.
Wait. Mine's at 1,399.
Dang.
San Jose is going crazy. Oh, Des Moines.
Des Moines, go forward.
Yo.
1,400.
Yay!
Let's go.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Email did good.
So on Good Life release day, we did 74 copies of The Good Life. That's how many we sold. And then I think, it was July 12th was Paboy Day. So we sold 44 copies of Put a Bow on It. And then on Farmer's Market Day, we did, I think, 47 copies of Farmer's Market. So 74, 44, 47. And then today, we're currently up to 13 copies of All Booked Up. So we'll see how it stacks up to the rest of them. We've already sold 45 copies of All Booked Up, which is as many as we sold on the entire day when we released Farmer's Market and Put a Bow on It. So,
And it's only $241.
we might double it. That could be great. I'm just gonna get started on some of the All Booked Up orders that have been coming in today. It felt like quite the successful release day because we ended up having almost twice as many copies of All Booked Up sell compared to the next highest coloring book release day. So I checked the numbers on our website and it looked like we had sold about like 75 copies of The Good Life when it was released on May 31st of 2024. And then we ended up selling like over 100, maybe close to 150 copies of All Booked Up just on our website. And then when you factor in TikTok Shop, we also had a really successful kind of release over there. And so as I predicted, All Booked Up is the most popular coloring book. Obviously, they've all been released at different times, several months apart. So total, we've still sold the most of The Good Life, which was the first coloring book that I released on my own. And then since then, like every subsequent book has sold very similar numbers, but like the total is a little bit lower because it hasn't been out as long. All Booked Up is selling better than every other coloring book we've released so far. I'm really interested to see how that plays out, and after each book has been released for like over a year, I'm kind of interested to see how the numbers shake out there. Overall, I'm feeling really good about this. It is kind of funny to me because I will say that genuinely All Booked Up was my least favorite coloring book to draw, and that's because there were a lot of right angles because I was drawing book spines or books in general that are a little more geometric, and it's a little bit harder to just kind of like sketch out a book that doesn't look wonky. Like I think or at least I feel like it needs to be a little more like drawn with a grid so that it doesn't look weird. And that's why I didn't like it. It just felt kind of stiff. And so I was kind of hitting a wall when I was drawing the coloring book, and I ended up deciding to draw book covers for classic books so that I could incorporate more like pattern drawing and florals. And so basically like I drew the book outline and then I filled it in with the book title and whatever design came to mind. And that was really fun and helped me draw a lot more pages for this coloring book, where otherwise I was kind of feeling a little bit stumped. And then by the time I got to the end of the book, I had like 10 more ideas, and this always happens. So I had like 10 more ideas, and I had to kind of like put them off into other books. So Coastal Americana comes out in June. That one has 2 coloring pages in it that were originally All Booked Up. It's a gal who's on the beach with a cocktail on top of a stack of books, and she's like in a beach chair. And that one was originally supposed to be an All Booked Up. And then there was an additional page that was a stack of books that said like fan of long books on the beach, which was originally a sticker design for Stanley, the Tumblr company, but I repurposed the design into a coloring page, and I think it was a really good fit for All Booked Up, but actually possibly an even better fit for Coastal Americana, so that's kind of fun. And then I also eliminated a page that was like a sunflower with a little worm on it wearing reading glasses glasses and with an open book, so it's like a literal bookworm. And that was supposed to be an All Booked Up too, but I felt like that could be a decent fit for Garden Avenue, and that one is the next coloring book to be released. It's actually out now, and yeah, that was originally supposed to be an All Booked Up, but I felt like it was okay in Garden, and I think that one's really cute. So All Booked Up had like an overflowing number of ideas by the time I finished with it, and now I'm kind of like, do I do another book coloring book? But I genuinely did not enjoy the process of drawing All Booked Up, so I'm probably going to stay away from that one. I'm not sure. We'll see. If there's an outcry, I'll do anything. Now we're moving on to the release of Garden Avenue, and I'm really interested to see how that one does. It's kind of the sister book to Farmer's Market because there were so many ideas I had for that one, but then they all kind of seem to be more garden-y versus like farm or fruit or whatever. So that one was super easy for me to complete, and I actually did it while we were in the middle of our moving process. That one, like, I didn't struggle with at all, and it actually has my favorite inside pages of a coloring book to date. So I'm glad All Booked Up is being well received, and I think I might be kind of disappointed that Garden Avenue doesn't sell as well as All Booked Up, even though I think the pages were more fun for me to draw and actually might be more fun to color. I'm not sure, but we will have to see how it stacks up. And I'm really excited that All Booked Up is being so well received because honestly, I guess I could look at it like I put the most effort into that one since it didn't come so easily to me. So hopefully people love it, and it seems like it's doing really well so far, which is so deeply satisfying to me since it took so much time. If you have any questions, suggestions for future coloring books, or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments. Also, if you have thoughts on the difficulty of these coloring books versus other coloring books, if you're an avid colorer, I would love to hear. And tell me what you think about the bleed through issue too, because it's really hard to talk about it in a way that makes sense. But since like there's no paper that will actually prevent bleeding through to the other side, I feel like it's fair to say like it doesn't bleed through to the next page. I don't know. I'm still working on how to talk about that. So definitely interested in what you guys think about that. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out all of my coloring books. There are now 5 available: The Good Life, Put a Bow on It, Farmer's Market, All Booked Up, and Garden Avenue. So there is a whole collection, and you can even get the bundle all together if you want to really dive into my coloring pages. And thank you so much for watching to the end.